What the hell? Oh. The hike I'm doing right now is actually 3 loops. I am hoping to do the third, which is the longest. It's about 17 kilometers. But I'm gonna see how the first kind of 2 go, just to see like what the scenery's like, because there is obviously some film I want to get through. So right now, all the trail's just been kind of like this dense bush that you're seeing behind me. So nothing really picturesque just yet. There we go, that's a little bit of an opening. Which way's the trail? So I figured I was going to take my first break now and use that time to actually load up the camera just so it's ready to go. Hasselblad, I have some Portra 160NC. I've never used any of the NCs before, but I know a lot of people are a really big fan of it, and were pretty disappointed when it was discontinued. So this was expired in 2004, so we'll see how that goes. And then we also have Fuji Provia 400. It is a slide film. I've never really had a really good experience with slide film, but I've had so much good feedback on Twitter when I was asking about it that I'm really pumped to try it out. So I'm just gonna put one of the rolls of 160 in one of my backs, and then the Provia in another back, and then you guys will see the results. And just to kind of compare them and see how they do in these types of conditions. So we're gonna go 500th of a second, and it's f/16, so it is quite bright out. First frame of Provia, here we go. Also, what are we thinking about the socks? The only thing thirstier right now in this forest are these mosquitoes that I think have been following me since the beginning, which is quite impressive. That's where the trail leads, and it's supposed to be a loop. So I know I said the path was pretty well marked before, but after you finish the second loop area, they just completely forget about the rest of it, which is pretty frustrating. Now that I'm basically lost, I'm not really in the mood to shoot. So unless I really find something that stands out, let's first find out where I'm going, and then we can break out the cameras again. Thank you. Onward. Back on course. I'm gonna take another shot here with both the film stocks again. Not necessarily a particularly interesting shot, but I just need a break from the mosquitoes and the flies constantly trying to fly into my ear. I'm hoping this ends with a good area to swim, to be honest, because it's toasty out. That's the shot I'm gonna go with, those 4 rocks. And just keep in mind it's gonna be a square, so it'll be something like that. Maybe include a bit more of that. I'm going to start with the Provia, and then I'm going to work my way towards the Portra 160NC. I haven't uploaded in quite some time, so I think that was early 2018, late 2017. And then 2019 happened, which was incredible. Freelance for me really picked up. I had some incredible opportunities working in a whole bunch of different provinces, states, cities, countries, everything like that, for a whole bunch of really awesome clients. There's definitely some moments that I wish I did record and had a vlog of, but some things are better left just kind of like in the moment. But I think one of the biggest cons is I quickly realized you only have so much of one experience, and in order to make a good video, you need to give up some of that experience. Picture like a pie graph, right? You can have 100% of the experience and enjoy it all. But if you want to make a video that is half as good as the experience, you need to give up half of that pie. So I quickly started to realize that a lot of experiences that I was going to, or things that I was doing, the focus on having to make a video kind of took away from that. and that's what kind of like turned me off from it. It may have been like the quantity of videos I was doing, of how many I was kind of pushing out, and just kind of the very repetitive kind of formula. Maybe you will still see some videos here and there on YouTube, but it definitely won't be at the capacity or the frequency of kind of like my prime on YouTube. It's a nice kind of little journal into my past. It was nice to kind of be able to relive that year whenever I want, but moving forward, I definitely want to focus more on the photo side of things. That's one thing that this whole kind of like quarantine and COVID situation has really showed me, as early on, it really kind of took me back to the roots of what I really loved about photography, and what it all started out as was kind of like getting out in places like this and just having a camera to kind of capture those moments of those sceneries that I really got to see. So I definitely got to relive that and kind of go back to those roots and just kind of appreciate photography for what I really loved it for at the time, before it kind of expanded into this all-consuming thing in my life. So I've still been doing those cable series shots as well. So I think I'm actually going to set one up here. For any of you that haven't seen this yet, I'll link the whole series in the description below, but I have here, let me show you. I have that, which is a 20-foot cable release that hooks up to the Hasselblad nub there. You see the little point coming out, I think. And that triggers the shutter. So, simple solution if you need to take a selfie with an old camera. So the tip is actually to focus on the squeeze handle, because that's where you're going to be standing. So you can quickly run out with that, put it where you want, set up your framing, and then focus on that. And as long as you're picking it up perfectly straight within the focus plane, you'll get tack sharp focus. To be safe, stop down a bit, and then you're good to go. And I guess for those interested, I'll actually show you what the framing looks like. You have the puddle there. I was standing on that ledge. So I think it'll turn out pretty cool. So that's a self-portrait on Provia, and let's get one on Portra for good measure. Now we're hauling it back. So I know I said I was going to stop recording until I got back, but the sun kind of popped out in the reflection of the clouds there, the trees, the nice green tall grass. I think it'll look pretty good on slide. So we'll fire up the Hasselblad on those two. So that's the Provia. There we go. Right where we started. So we did it in about half the time, which is nice, even with all the stops. And now I'll get better light as long as the clouds hold off for the cliffs. So now I'm gonna go find out where those are. It's so warm. So with all those photos done and all the hikes completed, I think I'm gonna call it a day, try to beat the rain and some of the long weekend traffic back. Probably gonna do neither, but we're gonna try either way. Thanks so much for any of you who watched part of it or all of it. Hope you enjoyed kind of following me along for the day, and I guess we'll see each other in the potential next one. Basically had no choice but to stop for that. I love that blue.